let's head over to the nation's capital, Abuja, where the Free Nnamdi Kanu protests is holding. We have images now from Abuja. You can see the presidential candidate and publisher of Sahara Reporters, Mr. Sowore, protesting with some people earlier today, this morning actually. And you can see the heavy security present right there in the nation's capital, Abuja. And you'll see just in a few seconds, there'll be shots in the air. I understand tear gas was fired as well, and it made some of the protesters scamper to safety. So these are images from moments ago coming from the nation's capital, Abuja, where that protest held. And we'll just allow you listen in, and we'll continue the conversation. Joined right now by Mr. Sowore, whom you saw in that video. Good morning, Mr. Sowore. Can you walk us through where did that happen and what exactly played out there?
Well, we were starting the protest at in front of the Transcorp Hotel, and this huge contingent of police came, army, civil defense, and we started telling them that we're not their enemies. It's not about them. And suddenly from nowhere, they started shooting at us, tear gas. There were some live bullets fired. But luckily enough, I don't think anybody was hit with a live bullet, but they were just shooting all around us. Eventually, they did arrest some people. I heard Nnamdi Kanu's younger brother was arrested and beaten. His lawyer Jimako, was also arrested and beaten. They've all taken them to the FCT command right now.
Can you walk us through what exactly was did you have a conversation? Did they approach you and say,
no, I was
you cannot
actually
protest
trying
here?
I was talking to them. They didn't particularly have any leadership. There were about 10 trucks, some of them gun trucks, that arrived at the same time as soon as we started the protest, and people were coming around. So there was no provocation on our part. Like we had promised, was an orderly protest. It was peaceful, but it was an unprovoked attack from the police force, and I would say combined team of security people in the city.
So the build up to this moment is something I want you to speak to. We'll come back to what played out today. The Honorable Justice M.G. Umar had ordered, given some orders saying the respondents are hereby restrained in the interim from protesting in the following areas: Aso Rock Villa or anywhere close to the villa, the National Assembly, Force Headquarters, Court of Appeal, Eagle Square, and Shehu Shagari Way, pending the hearing of the motion, and then some other orders were given. The police had said, well, we don't think this should hold. NSCDC also said we don't think this should hold in these areas. But you said you held this particular one close to Transcorp, which I don't think is in that order. What did you expect from security operatives? Were they meant to give you protection or sort of ensure that the protest is lawful or at least doesn't break the peace? What was your expectation from the security operatives?
Well, not only did we plan this as a peaceful protest, we actually had the lawyer inform them, even though it is our constitutional right not to inform the police, not to take permission from the police to protest. But we did inform them officially so that they can provide protection to the protesters, because they always claim that protest is hijacked by hoodlums or whomever it is. But you can now see who the hoodlums were today. The security agencies that government. that otherwise should have done a job of protecting the protesters.
Mr. Sowore, we heard the gunshots not so long ago, and that was quite scary. Please confirm to us that all the protesters in your team are safe before I proceed with my next question.
Well, we haven't seen them yet. We had to leave the scene and move to a safer location. But I've just reported to you that some protesters were arrested. Some of them bystanders forced into a police vehicle, many police vehicles, beaten right there on the scene and then driven to the first police headquarters. The FCT police headquarters in Abuja. So we haven't been able to confirm if everybody's safe at this point.
Also, a lawyer, Jimakot, the lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu that you mentioned earlier, and his brother were on your protest team.
Yes, they were part of the people with me, yes.
All right. Some other protesters, we've seen them last week against your protest. I'd like you to speak to that because they were brandishing pictures of, people from the southeast who had died as a result of the sit at home and the violence, the phenomenon of unknown gunmen, and had said, look, Nnamdi Kanu is not a man that should be released by the federal government. I'd like you to speak to that.
The fact that people have the right to say what they want to say is not something I'm against. But other people who feel differently also have the right to express their position. So what we have told the federal government or those prosecuting Nnamdi Kanu is that in 4 years, if he killed anybody, if he molested anybody, how is it that they don't make it to the courtroom? He's been in detention since 2021. Why can't you present this evidence to the judge? Nobody did that. Everybody's just making up stories here and there, and nobody's talking about the 28 people that were killed in his father's compound. Nobody's talking about, all the villages that have been burned down by the Nigerian army because they claim that IPOB is an illegal organization. Nobody's talking about the rights of all the people that are clamped into detention, several of them in the place they call Wawa Barracks. So are those people not human beings as well? You go and provoke people who are peacefully asking for a different country, who are asking for self-determination because they ask for a referendum, and then you start blaming them for further violence that you visited upon them, and you want to be blackballing and blackmailing everybody with it. But you had the right to present your own case. Give other people who feel differently, who are now in the majority, the chance to also present their own view about the trial. We see a sham trial here, and you're talking about people who went and printed some pictures, and nobody's talking about what the federal government has done in terms of the killings in the Southeast, the violation of human rights, the violation of the dignity of members of an organization that is merely calling for self-determination. It's not a crime. So I'm not here to debate that. We are here to debate fair and just trial of a person who's been in detention for over, it's been in and out of detention for over 10 years. You haven't been able to put any of this evidence in court. No one has ever convicted him of one. I was even charged at the point with Nnamdi Kanu that Nnamdi Kanu and I killed policemen in the Southeast. I've never been to the Southeast with Nnamdi Kanu before. So you should know where all of this propaganda is coming from.
But Mr. Sowore, can we discountenance the fact that in the last couple of years, the police in the Southeast have arrested criminals, some of whom, have been caught to have identified with IPOB. Hence that concern that there's a criminal element in the agitation for self-determination in the Southeast.
Listen, the police told you they arrested somebody who is a criminal, who's a member of IPOB. This same policeman did not present to you the ID card they got from the guy who says it's IPOB. You can just go and arrest somebody who is a criminal, claim he's IPOB, and then you take him to a special detention center in Wawa Barracks, and you have not been able to try him. I know of a couple, husband and wife, that were tagged IPOB. They have been in Wawa Barracks for almost 3 years.